All right, so good chance this goes on YouTube. We're just going to go through this list together. Hello to those of you on YouTube. Like the video or I will cancel your subscription. Also subscribe if you're not already. Let's go ahead and do the Animal Crossing tier list. Again, the plan for this, I have a ton of Nook Miles in-game. And what I'm going to do is after we create this tier list, I'll pick out my favorite villager of all my favorite species types. And then we'll try to find them on the random islands, like the mystery islands, so we can recruit them to our island. We have an empty plot of land. So once we determine what our favorite overall villagers are, we will go out in the world, try to find them and get them back on our island. So in no particular order, we are going to go through these. And I've also got the species list right here. So when we are reviewing a species to figure out where to put it on this list, we can go through all the individual types of villager for that species to help us make a more informed decision. Because I'm a new Animal Crossing player, never played before New Horizons. This will be my first time seeing a lot of these, and therefore, hopefully, we'll make some good decisions. Every tier list is controversial. It'll be okay. But yeah, help me figure out which order to do these in. I think I'm going to start with the alligator. We're going to just drag it to B tier while we will look at them and determine. Alligators get a bad rep. I personally really like them. I think alligators are really cool villagers. There's a few of them especially that I think are really dope. Alfonso is kind of like the basic bitch alligator. But if we go through, like Allie, Also, the personality matters, right? So next to their name is their personality type, and that determines like how they act when they're on your island or when you talk to them. So Alfonso's lazy, Allie's snooty, Boots is a jock, and if you guys know Stinky on my island, he's a cat, is also a jock. So like all he does is talk about exercise and lifting weights, and he gave me a DIY recipe for a barbell. So their personality sometimes kind of clashes with the way they look. Sometimes it synergizes really well with the way they look and makes for a really cool villager. So I think both the personality and the looks matter. And overall, I think alligators are super underrated. Sly, the camo alligator, really cool. Unfortunately, I don't think he's in the new game. But overall, I think for now, tentatively, I'm going to put alligators in A tier. They are not top tier, but I see a lot of people in their tier list putting them down here in C and D. It's a freaking mistake. Alligators are dope, and I am a big fan. Hopefully, you guys are now sold on it as well. Next up, we'll go sheep. Sheep, I'm just going to put straight into D tier. One of my least favorite types, and my all-time least favorite villager is a sheep. I mean, they have some pretty creative names, right? Like Barbara, pretty good name. Cashmere is another great name for a sheep, but it's just so ugly, man. Like, great name, terrible, terrible design. How would you want this thing to be your neighbor? I don't get it. Kurlos, another great one. I mean, I don't know. I like Kurlos. He's a good sheep. He's the exception to the rule. Dom's all right. Dom's obviously supposed to be cute, and he is, but it just doesn't do it for me, man. Like, look at these things. Eunice, another great name with a terrible model. I don't know. The sheeps don't do it for me. Muffy is another exception. I really like Muffy. She looks like she'd be like a fortune teller. Like if you get a room in your house that's totally dark, lit only by candles, and you got like a Ouija board and tarot cards, she'd fit right in. I do kind of like Muffy. Pietro, however you want to say it, worst villager in the game. Pietro is a clown, and if you like Pietro, you are a clown. Just don't like Pietro, please, and thank you. Sheeps are ugly. Sheeps are staying in D tier. If there were an F tier, that's where they'd be. So I'm out of there. I'm not gonna put any more time into a bad species. Let's go from bad to good. I'm going to go wolf. We're going to put them in S tier because I really, really like the wolves. There's dog and wolf, two separate species. Really love the wolves, not so much the dogs. Audie, this one specifically was added to New Horizons, and I believe this is the villager that was added based on somebody who had like 3,000 hours in a New Leaf village. They have been playing on a on a 3DS for like a ridiculous amount of hours, and they kind of went viral on the internet. So Animal Crossing gave a nod to that player and that player's village by naming one of the new wolves after them. Pretty cool. Chief, just absolute boss. He's cranky too, which is like the perfect type. His dad's name is Tanner, and they grew up in a wealthy gated community. Just like, I don't know, the wolves are really good. Dobie's like the old looking, the elderly wolf. You got Fang. I don't know. I really, really like it. Like Kyle is smug. Kyle's just like how do you not love Kyle, man? I really like the wolves a lot. There are very few bad ones, and there are some amazing ones for sure. So we're gonna keep wolf in S tier. If anyone disagrees, feel free to let me know either in the comments section on YouTube or in Twitch chat right now if you're not a fan. But I really like the wolves, so I'm gonna keep them. I'm gonna keep them there for now. I got Kyle. He grew on me so much. His house is a rock concert, and he sings all the time. I didn't even know that, but that is actually pretty cool. Even more bonus points for the wolves. All right, so we'll go from good to bad. We're gonna put anteaters in the D tier. I want to like anteaters. I really do. There's parts of this that, like when they talk, their mouths move, or their noses move rather. There's parts of the anteater that I want to like a lot, but there are just no good anteater villagers. Annabelle, what can you say? She's too basic, man. There's nothing there. There's just no substance. Annalisa, at least they tried. Like, I get what they were going for here. Very cool attempt, just didn't follow through. Why is her shirt so ugly too? Like, it doesn't match. Doesn't make any sense. Antonio, he's a jock. He's the one that talks about lifting weights all the time. Good name, just too basic, man. There's nothing there. There's no substance to any of these villagers. They tried to give him a little more personality by giving him the angry eyes. He's got a decent coloration, but I don't know. Olaf's really the only saving grace for the anteaters. Olaf's really cool. He's smug too, and smug is just my favorite personality type personally. It's a bit of a bias perhaps, but Olaf, he dresses and looks like he's smug, and his personality type is smug. I do like Olaf, but he's like the only one. You like Snooty? Like, dude, I don't know. I don't. Hate me if you must. These are a D tier species, and it's sad because I feel like I want to like them. I really do, but I just don't. All right, so I'm gonna let you guys start throwing off which ones you want to see me review next, and instead of just picking them at random, we'll go based on what Twitch chat wants to see. But next we'll go gorilla. This is another one that I think is going to be kind of controversial for me. Gorillas are low A tier or high B tier. A lot of people throw gorilla in C and D tier. They say they look ugly. There's gorilla and then there's monkey, so don't get them confused. Two separate species. But the gorillas look pretty good to me, man. Like, I'm going to keep it in B tier for now, but they're underrated, and that gives bonus points to me because, like, the eagles are super overrated. Everyone loves the eagles, and even though they're not bad, the fact that everyone thinks they're the greatest and they're not brings them down a few extra pegs. That might be an unfair way to judge them, but because everyone loves them and I don't, that they're worse than they normally would be if I didn't know that everyone else like fawned over them. So gorillas are the opposite. Everyone hates on the gorillas, and I feel like there's some super underrated ones here. Al, not a great first one to look at, right? He's like puke green colored. Not a great villager. But then we got Boone. Like, Boone, the baboon, pretty amazing, right? Like, he's a really good villager. I like him. He's a jock, which, you know, I'm neither for nor against. Boyd is pretty cool. Caesar's all right. But Hans, dude, Hans is supposed to be like a Yeti. He's wearing an Argyle sweater. If you don't like Hans, I don't like you. It's that simple. I really like this villager, and I think he is probably one of the most slept on and underrated ones. Specifically of the gorillas, but really possibly in the whole game. Jane, not so much. Not a big fan. But Louis is Donkey Kong. How do you not like Louis? If you get this guy and don't invite him to your island, you're making a mistake. Like, this is DK. I don't know how... I don't... Like, why do people hate on the gorillas? I don't know. Maybe it's because of Rilla? I'm with you. I hate Rilla. That Hello Kitty shirt? Let's stop talking about Rilla. But Rocket, pretty cool, right? She's sisterly. It's the same as Canberra on my island. She's very kind. I'm a fan. I don't know. Yodel too. I don't think Yodel's in New Horizons, but there's just some really good gorillas that people sleep on. So gorillas are a solid B tier, potentially lower A tier, depending on where the rest of these species end up. We may move it, but looks like everyone wants to see ostrich. So let's do ostrich next. To my understanding, there's not that many ostriches, but another one that I think kind of like gorillas, a lot of people hate on, I really like. Again, I've never played all the Animal Crossing games before New Horizon, so I haven't seen many ostriches on friends' islands, and I don't personally have any on mine. So I've never had an ostrich villager, but based on what I've seen, I like them. I'm going to put them in A tier because they're just unique, right? Not many people seem to have them. They seem to be a little bit more rare, which means if you have one on your island, you got lucky. And they're certainly not a bad species. We'll go through just to kind of verify that claim here. We've got Blanche. I mean, kind of basic, I'll be honest, but a cool theme, and it delivers. And I like the way that it's colorful, but it's not like obnoxiously loud with colors. The beak matches the tail. It's got separate colored legs, and the body is white. It's nice. It's simple. Cranston is a beast. If you don't like Cranston, I don't know what to tell you. He's just like, I don't know. So he's like, something about the derpy looking villagers just gets me. Like, if just looking at him, you instantly love Cranston. I'm a fan. Flora is peppy, so she's like one of the ones that thinks she's a pop star, and she uses words like totes and oh my gosh and all that stuff. It's cute on the right villager. I don't think it really matches or works with Flora. But like Sprinkle, we'll get to Sprinkle later. One of my favorite villagers in the game. Nindori, amazing. This reminds me of, there's a, what is it? Is it a cat or something? There's some other animal that has like hollow eyes, and it looks really, really cool. So I'm a big fan of Nindori. Phil, smug Phil. Like, look at him. He's awesome. I love Phil. I'm pretty happy. I'm content with keeping these in A, and Sprocket really wants to move them up to S, but I can't on one villager alone move them up to S tier. But Sprocket is a robot ostrich. If I find this guy, it's an immediate invite. Like, he's coming to my island immediately. So we're gonna keep ostriches in A tier for now. You guys got Flora, nice. I would take Flora probably. Let's do rhinos next. I am gonna put rhinos in B tier tentatively. Rhinos for me, just like gorillas, they're like a low A, high B tier. I probably will put rhinos, let's say below gorillas. I'm okay with putting them there for now. There's some really good rhino species. I have one on my island, and it happens to be the first one here. Hornsby, absolute bro. Hornsby is lazy. He really likes bugs, and he's wearing an Argyle sweater. That's all you need to say. He's kind of a basic, very like classic Animal Crossing looking villager, but I like him a lot. I have Spike on his way to my island, so when we get to Spike, you'll see why I might be telling Hornsby to take a hike for Spike. But for now, Hornsby is my bro. Meringue, lemon meringue pie, pretty straightforward. I like meringue because it sounds more exotic, but it's meringue. Patricia, Petunia, Renee, like they all have good names, and I don't know, I like them. They got a lot of like personality. It's like when we were looking at some of the other species, they just look so boring. But it's like almost every, let's not say every, but almost every single one has personality. Spike's got gold-plated horns, ears, and he's wearing like bracelets. He's, I think, he's cranky. He's not a jock actually, so he's a cranky villager. He's got a battle scar. He's seen some things, and he likes to yell at kids on his front porch now. I'm for it. Tank is kind of basic. Tank I don't like that much. Tank is just like Hornsby, but Hornsby's wearing an Argyle sweater, which makes him lovable, whereas Tank is just kind of like annoyingly jockish. And then Tiara. Tiara's not in the new game, but I don't know. I like rhinos. Rhinos are a good species, not a great species. We'll keep them in high B tier for now. You put them in S tier? I don't know. Like I said, I want to put gorillas and rhinos in A tier, but I feel like I'm just going to overload the list with A tiers because there's a lot of them that are like right on the cusp for me. So we're going to keep rhino in high B tier for now, but we can reevaluate later when we decide which ones we like and which ones are like definitive A's or definitive S's. We got a couple high ratings though, like mid to high A's and right on the cusp of B to A. So we're going to go to another absolutely terrible villager type, and we are going to go ahead and say mice belong in D tier. There is one mouse that I like. Every other mouse is terrible. I don't see the appeal. Some people say they look really cute. Some people absolutely love these things. I am not one of them. I just think they're mostly horrifying looking. Their ears are like comically caricaturized of actual mouse ears. And they're just so annoying when you talk to them in the game. It's like every mouse, I just want to punt it off the island. Maybe that's just a me thing. It sounds like kind of a personal vendetta, but something about them, man. I can't do it, man. I don't like the mice. This is the exception. Chatter's smug, and again, just any smug personality wins me over. Something about the smug personality type, the different like lines that they use in game, and they always have that very smug look, like he's got that like sideways smile. I like Chatter. Chatter can join my island anytime, but Chico, no bueno. Dora, I get it, right? She's cute, but I just can't. I can't do it, man. They're detailed. Like, look at Limburg. What is this supposed to be? What are they going for? They're going for everything all at once, it looks like. I just, like, no thank you. And Rod is a jock, but he doesn't, like, he's not like one of the cool bully type jocks. He looks like he belongs in a Richard Simmons video. You feel me? I can't do it, man. I can't with the mice. I'm not a fan. We're going to keep them in D tier. What's next? Start throwing some suggestions out, and we'll decide where to go from there. In the interim, though, I'm going to go with pig. Pigs are tough because pigs, like mice, are like supposed to be cute in an ugly kind of way. But I'm going to put them in C tier, and we're going to look at them. I might change my mind on this one because I don't know most of the pigs, being completely honest. But yeah, see, like Agnes, great name for a pig, just a little too basic. She's got that sisterly vibe going on, but there's just nothing special there. Boris is kind of cool. I won't lie. I don't mind Boris. I don't hate Boris. I don't love Boris. Chops is the most British-looking pig in the history of pigs. And he's smug. So, actually, Chops is a good villager. I'd probably invite Chops to my island if I found him out on a random island. The Mystery Tour Island thing is so much fun. I spend all night, every night, just farming miles so that I can spend the whole next day just island hopping for villagers. I'd probably take Hops. Cobb, not doing it for me. Curly, everyone loves Curly. I don't like Curly. Not a fan. Gala, it's all right. Ganon, they tried. It just doesn't do it for me personally. I could definitely see that being a cool villager for some. But, yeah, I don't know, man. The pigs are just like... They're okay. They're not my favorite type. They're C tier. They're right where they belong, I think. I'm pretty happy, and I'm content with keeping them in C tier for now. Next up, we'll go... People want to see Squirrel. All right, we'll go Squirrel. I'm going to put Squirrel in B tier, at least for now. I might change my mind once we actually look into it a little more, but as of now, it's just... I don't know. Okay, Agent S, I'm a fan. He's like a race car driver. He looks pretty cool. There's a lot of these, like, hero-themed looking villagers. He's cool. He's not the coolest of those, like, special villagers, but he's all right. Blair, pretty good villager, pretty basic, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm contradicting myself. Sometimes basic works, and other times it just doesn't. So I like Blair. She's basic, but it fits, and I like it. It's not like a boring basic. It's like I wouldn't hate if she was one of my starting island people. We got Bliss. Callie, again, kind of very classic, like, kind of reminds me of Hornsby in the Rhinos, just a very classic looking villager. Caroline, Filbert's pretty cool. Not gonna hate on Filbert. This is the new leaf hazel, and this is the old school hazel. Not a lot of people have this flipped. I really like old hazel. I don't like unibrow hazel. Some people, for whatever reason, really like unibrow hazel, but it just doesn't do it for me. Marshall's the greatest, right? And again, it's smug personality, right? Like, if Marshall showed up, immediate invite to the island. If he showed up in my tent, if he showed up on a mystery island, I would invite Marshall. He's cool. He just looks like a bro, and he looks like a smart ass, and that's right up my alley. So Marshall would get an invite for sure. Nibbles is cute, Mint is cute, but they're not over the top for me. Like, I don't know. Ricky's pretty cool too, and Ricky's cranky, which is another good personality type in my opinion. Static, there's a lot, dude. I didn't realize how many squirrels there actually were. Static's pretty cool as well. I feel like he should have been smug. He's cranky, but it works. Either one kind of fits him. So yeah, I'm not by any means saying that squirrels are bad, but I probably wouldn't put them above gorillas or rhinos. Maybe I'd put them above rhinos, actually, now that I'm looking at it, because there's just not any standout rhinos, really. Like, Spike is cool, and Hornsby is very classic, but I don't know. I like a few of the squirrels more than the top-tier rhinos, so we'll stick with B tier and, like, a mid-B tier, like, mid to high B tier. So, yeah, next up, let's see. Octopus? You guys want to see octopus? Okay. There are very few octopi. I don't know if that's the correct pluralization of octopus, but I'm going to pretend it is and that I'm smart. I'm stuck between A tier and S tier. I really like octopi, but I don't know if I like them enough to throw them into the S tier, personally. We'll keep them right there with the alligators and the ostriches. We'll look at them and maybe I'll reconsider to throw them in S tier. But for now, we'll just look at the octopus. Inkwell. Marina, obviously everyone loves Marina. She's a cute villager done right. Not over the top, but cute, and everyone would be like, I'm glad that she's on my island. I'm happy with her. She can stay. Octavian, cranky, just like he's a perfect villager. Like these two together, she's the perfect quintessential cute villager. He's the perfect quintessential angry, cranky villager. And then Zucker is based on some sort of Japanese dish. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I like it. And it's working for me. He's a very Eastern-looking villager, and he just works. Like, I don't know. I think the fact that there's not many of them, there are only 4 in total, and one of them is not in New Horizons. So there's only 3 different types of octopus that exist in New Horizons. If you have one on your island, you got super lucky. And none of them are really better or worse than the others. Like, I'd be very happy with Marina as my token cute villager. I'd be very happy with Octavian as my token angry villager. And I'd be very happy with Zucker as just my, like, weird, eclectic, out there, very specific themed villager. There's just, you can't go wrong. I'm actually going to bump these up to S tier. I really like the octopus. And I'm gonna keep them in S tier. I think they're really good. And I'm happy with that decision, actually. You got Marina? Nice. Yeah, see, any of the 3. I would be very happy with any of the 3, to be honest. Deer? Well, if we go deer, we're going to be doing really back-to-back S tiers, I think. The deer are... They've grown on me a lot. When I first saw fauna, I was like, it's too basic for me. But the more that I've seen them, especially in contrast to some of the villagers that have shown up on my island, deer are an S tier species. And they're pretty solidly in S tier, in my opinion. Bam is a great jock character. Again, you gotta account not only for the way they look, but also for their personality type and how that kind of matches with the way they look. You think B tier at most? I don't know, dude. Like Bo, great sweater, great personality, great look. Very simple, but it works on the deer specifically. He's a lazy deer. He's wearing the deer like sweater. It just, I don't know. Like they're well done. Bruce is a good cranky villager. He's not my favorite, to be honest. But Chelsea is another good example of a basic but very well done, like quintessential cute villager. Deirdre, great name, decent design, good personality. Deirdre, the sisterly personality. That's again like if you guys have been following my playthrough. Canberra on my island is sisterly. Diana is one of the most popular by far. I don't know. And then you got the males as well. You really think these are B at most? I don't know, dude. I really like these. I like Eric. Fauna is, again, the very, like, basic and very kind of classic-looking villager, but it's well done. Lopez actually showed up on one of my mystery islands yesterday, and I didn't invite him. I don't know yet if I regret it. I'm like kind of going back and forth about whether or not I should have invited him to my island. But Lopez did show up in one of my mystery islands last night, and I decided he wasn't quite good enough despite being smug. He's like not a good enough smug villager. Because I'm only going to have at max 2 of any personality type on my island in the end game, right? And so for smug, there's just so many great smug villagers that Lopez didn't make the cut. Therefore, I didn't invite him to my island. And Zell, another great smug villager. But I'd have a hard time picking them over some of the other species. So, yeah, maybe I'll move them down to A tier. Actually, I like them a lot, but now that I'm thinking about it, and none of them would really make the cut for my island over quite a few other species. So we'll move them down to A tier. But I'll put them ahead of ostriches and alligators. We'll put them like top A tier. And I'm pretty happy with that for now. That's a pretty good thing. Max villager capacity, I believe, is 10 at any given time. I don't know how difficult it is to kick villagers off your island. It's like varying in difficulty across the different games, according to what Marianne told me. But you can complain to Isabel, and she'll help you get people off your island if you want them to move. So eventually, I hope to have my 10 favorite villagers on my island, but we're going to figure out how difficult that ends up becoming once we get around to it. Right now, I only have 6, and the 7th is moving in tomorrow, so I still have 3 spots before I have to worry about kicking anyone off, but there's definitely some people that'll be moving. All right, let's keep it going. Hamsters, not doing it for me. Hamsters are a C tier. Some people find the hamsters extremely cute. Sometimes I've seen people put them as high as S tier, but they're just kind of ugly, if I'm being honest. They're like a little bit better than mice, but still pretty boring. And none of them are like cute enough, right? Like Apple is probably the closest you'll get. Apple is peppy, so again, they're the ones that use words like totes. And so when you see little Apple running around talking about how it's totes adorbs, you're like, he's kind of cute, but just not the best, right? It's just the design, right? Maybe I just don't like the way hamsters look in general, but like Graham, good name, good design. It's just a fucking hamster though. Like, I don't know. It's not my favorite. Hamlet is a jock, but compared to any other jock we've looked at, he's just like I'm not gonna take him seriously. He looks pudgy. Humphrey's good. I won't lie. Humphrey is a great cranky villager. He will definitely not have a spot on my island, but he is a good hamster. And yeah, not terribly many hamster options, but just not good. Not terrible, but not good. And therefore, they sit in C tier, where I think they belong. Next, we'll go to dog. Dog is like the probably most wasted potential species that there is. I don't know if I'm willing to put them all the way down in C. I kind of feel like low B just because I love dogs. But if I'm taking like IRL bias out of it, the dogs just aren't great, man. They're okay, but they're not good. There's just like compared to the wolves where everyone is pretty much a hit, they're just kind of like, they're just so basic. Like they could have had so many good options for dogs, and instead we just got some really basic designs. Bones actually showed up on one of my mystery islands during last night's island hop as well. I do like Bones. I love the different fur patches that he's got going on in the different colors, but they're just, first of all, they're like all lazy. Benjamin lazy, Biscuit lazy, Bones lazy, Bo lazy. But yeah, like I don't know. It doesn't do it for me, man. Like I love dogs, but there's just nothing over the top that puts these into a category that I think they become top tier villagers. Lucky is the exception to the rule. Lucky's a mummified dog. Really cool theme, really well executed. The fact that he's got one eye covered. Lucky's great. Lucky is the exception to the C tier. But like, yeah, Shep's all right. There's a lot of special characters that are cool, right? These aren't villagers. These are just characters from the different games. Booker's good. Copper's good. Obviously, Isabel is fantastic. KK Slider is a great character as well. So, like, the non-villager dogs are what the villager dogs should have been. If there were villagers that had these types of themes to them, they would be a much higher rating. But as villagers, I think, like, C tier is as high as I can put them. I feel bad putting them in the same tier as hamsters and pigs, but honestly, I think like that's just kind of where they belong. They're where they should be. Next up, let's do frogs. I have a tough one with frogs. I'm gonna put frogs B tier. I'm gonna put them ahead of rhinos, but behind squirrels. Also, I think I'm gonna put squirrels ahead of gorillas. I don't know, man. These two are close, and we'll just leave it how it is for now. But we're gonna put frogs in B tier, and we're gonna kind of go over some of them and see if we change our mind. Camo frog, like again, just a very well done themed villager. This makes sense. It's cool. He's cranky, which I feel like they could have probably given him a better personality type. He would have been okay as a jock, like a military type. He also could have been just a normal villager, I think. Cranky doesn't really seem to fit him, but it is what it is. Cousteau is a jock, which also doesn't really make much sense to me. He looks like a chef, but so be it. Like he's a pretty well done villager as well. Drift, Emerald, Frobert. Frobert's a cool villager. Gigi's not great. Not a big fan of Gigi. Huck is good. Like, I don't know. They're cute. They're pretty simple, but they're good. I like Lily. I like Prince. I don't really love most of them, but there's also like none that I dislike. Rattle's great. He's a doctor. I love Rattle. Good theme, well executed. He's lazy, again, doesn't really fit. I don't get the personality type decision there. And then Ribbot is what really brings this up to the tier that it's in. Like, I don't know. Anytime that you give me a robot character, I'm taking it. Sprocket, the ostrich, is top tier. Ribbot, the robot, is top tier. Tad is, again, just a very classic-looking Animal Crossing villager. He's the quintessential AC. This is what you think of when you think of Animal Crossing villagers. And Wart Jr., another cool theme. He's a toad. I like it. Not many that really stand out, but there's a lot of good ones, right? Some of them are kind of forgettable and basic, but I think Camo Frog is good. I think Jeremiah is good. I think Rattle is great. I think Ribbot is great. I think Tad is good. And I think Wart Jr. is good. So we'll keep frogs in B tier. I'm okay with keeping them there. And that seems to be Frobert S tier name. Design doesn't meet expectations. I would agree, but still good. Okay, goats. Goats are a controversial one. Every list that I've looked at either has goats in S tier or has goats in like D tier. People either absolutely love them or absolutely hate them. There is one goat that makes me want to move these from B tier into A tier. Because there's one goat that would immediately get an instant invite and is probably in the top like 10, 15 villagers of all time for me. And his name is Sherb. We'll get there in a minute. But we're going to keep him conservatively in B tier. And we'll put them like right in the mix with the gorillas and the squirrels. Sherb makes me want to move them up, but we're going to keep them in B tier. I think that's where they belong. And despite having a few great designs, there are a lot of not so great ones as well. So let's go to the goat page and kind of go through them. Billy, pretty simple. Billy Goat. He looks like a Billy Goat. He's old. It's a good theme. He shouldn't be a jock, though. He should be cranky. Of all the types, Billy, the old Billy Goat, should be a cranky guy. That just was a missed opportunity. Not a big fan. Just like, it's like a wannabe classic character, you know? Like you look at all those classic Animal Crossing characters like Hornsby that I was talking about before. This one just doesn't quite do it. Gruff is okay, not great. Kind of ugly, I think. Any of these like puke green colored villagers are tough for me to love. They're just not great. Iggy's great though. Iggy's a very eclectic, kind of out there, unique looking design. Kid is a decent design as well. Pashmina is a favorite among most people. I don't love Pashmina, but I definitely don't hate her. They're not bad. Or she's not bad, but she's not fantastic. And then this is Sherb. Sherb is my homie. He wears a snowflake sweater, just like Sprinkle does. And he's just like, how can you look at this guy and not get happy? He's just a very like upbeat, loves life kind of guy. Sherb's the goat. Literally. And then we've got Sven, old man, should be cranky. Lazy kind of works for Sven too, though. And then Velma. That's all I have to say about Velma. But we'll keep them in B tier. They're like slightly above average villagers with a few great ones mixed in. They're okay. Okay, next up, kangaroos. Here's my thing with kangaroos. Kangaroos, like dogs, should be great, but just aren't. There are like one or two kangaroos that I would take on my island. Overall, they're just not good, man. They're just not good. So we're going to put them in C tier because just like the dogs, we'll put them right next to the dogs. They're better than hamsters, but there's just so much missed potential with the kangaroos that I feel like they belong in C tier because they could have been A or B. I actually have one on my island named Kit, but it's just so boring. She's going to be one of the first ones off my island. What's up, Defiance? How you doing today, man? Welcome to the stream. Astrid, they went for it. I don't think they hit the mark personally, but again, you kind of give it points because they tried to deviate from the standard, normal, boring-looking character. They tried something there. I don't think it worked, but it is what it is. Carrie, super basic, kind of boring. Kit, super basic, on my island, and super boring. Doesn't ever say anything interesting, doesn't ever do anything interesting, just a very basic, very boring villager. Egg stop on April 12th. Koharu, I can't even see it. I don't know. It's this one that was only in an individual game. It's discontinued, so not much to say there. Marcy, Tried to be cute. Looks like Peppa Pig. Kind of ugly. Not a fan. Matilda could come on my island, to be fair. I like Matilda. She's a snooty, very angry looking kangaroo. I feel like she's probably got enough personality to take a spot on my island. But yeah, just, I don't know, man. Like Sylvia, not great. Rooney, it's all right, not great. There's no great ones. Walt's okay, actually. Walt's not great. Walt's good. He's a good villager. Him and Matilda kind of save the kangaroos from becoming a D tier species, but they're definitely like a solid C tier. Definitely no better. Probably not Defiance, but I'll let you know. I don't have any plans at the moment, but I never say never, so we'll see what happens. Okay, next up, eagles. Eagles are overrated. Everyone loves eagles. They're not nearly as good as everyone thinks they are. If I didn't know that eagles were one of the most popular species, I would probably put them in like B tier. They're not that good. D-Pool, you're out of your mind if you're putting eagles in S tier. This is going to be a controversial decision, but I'm thinking high C or low A. I'm going to put them top C tier. They're just not that good, man. I don't know. Hate me if you must. Amelia, she's okay. She's not fantastic. I've only ever had one in my village or on one of my islands before. I had the guy who's wearing like a suit of armor. I forget his name, but we'll get to him. Apollo's like one of the most popular Animal Crossing characters ever. He's a very classic looking character. I agree that the eagle character model looks cooler than a lot of the other animals, but it's just kind of basic, man. Like, he doesn't do anything fantastic for me. Avery's an exception. I would take Avery on my island. If he showed up, I would invite him. I like Avery. As much as I'm kind of trying to play devil's advocate and hate on the eagles because everyone else loves them too much, Avery would have a spot. No questions asked. Buzz is all right. Just again, kind of boring. There's just nothing fantastic about them. Celia's good. I like Celia. She should be sisterly. I think sisterly would be a very appropriate personality type for her. By the way, Defiance, thank you for the Prime sub, dude. I appreciate it. Can we get some hype in the chat for Defiance? Welcome back and thank you. We got Frank. I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me. Too much going on. Too many different colors. Doesn't really work, especially with that weird like college Letterman. It's too loud and it doesn't work. Keaton, kind of the same thing. I don't really understand the vast different color. There's like a smorgasbord of things going on. I don't love him. I don't hate him. I like Keaton more than Frank. Pierce is a little bit more toned down. He's a cooler villager, I think, but still just nothing spectacular for me. Like, I don't know. Quetzal's cool. And then Sterling is the one I was talking about. Sterling showed up on one of my bamboo islands last night. He's a jock, so he talks about working out all the time. He's got a suit of armor on. He's wearing like a tabard with a sword on it. He's all right. I didn't invite him to my island, for what it's worth. I had him on my island. My finger was over the A button, ready to invite him, but I decided against it just because I feel like there are cooler jock types out there. I would take him over the jock type currently on my island, which was one of my starter characters I didn't have a choice of, which is Stinky, the cat. I'd rather have Sterling than Stinky, but there are just way better jock species out there. He's not great. He's not great. And you know, they aren't great. They're a high C tier. I would probably put them in B tier, except they're overrated. Too many people love them and hate. That makes me hate them a little more. So C tier we go. I'm a hipster in case you didn't know. Next, we'll go Chicken. This one's pretty easy to me. Chicken is a D tier character, and they are very close to being ahead of or behind Anteaters. I am going to put them tentatively ahead of Anteaters, though I haven't seen many of them, so I reserve the right to change my mind here in a second. Let's look at the chickens. I don't know, man. Easily S. You're out of your mind, and you should stop playing Animal Crossing forever if you put eagles into easily S tier. You're out of your mind. All right, Ava. Not great. I don't like the chicken model. It's just not a good, like, these things aren't appealing. I would not enjoy having one of these as a neighbor. They have great names, though. I won't lie. Ava's a good name. Becky is a fantastic name for this chicken. I feel like Becky probably could. Yeah, Snooty works. Smug or Snooty would have worked for Becky. I'm okay with that. It's a good villager, but not a fan. Benedict, another amazing name for a chicken, but just didn't deliver. Betty, all right, not great. I don't even, how do you say this? Brofina? Gross. No, thank you. Egbert, good name, bad design. Looks like the guy that fights Peter Griffin forever in Family Guy. No thanks, I'll pass. Goose, again, creative name, well done name. He's a jock, doesn't do it for me. Hank, jock, doesn't do it for me. Hector, jock, doesn't do it for me. Knox, again, with the set of armor, like, it's cool, it's a cool theme. I just don't love it. He's got a sword tabard, he's got armor on his feet, and he's got armor on his head. It just doesn't do it for me. They're a D tier. They're an easy D tier. They're ahead of anteaters, but not by much. We'll put it there. You have deers, frogs, and squirrels ahead of them? Yeah, because they're all better. Deers, frogs, and squirrels are all better than eagles. Objectively, you are wrong. Let's go bulls next. I'm going to put them in C tier as well. I don't think they're bad enough to be put in with the sheeps and the chickens, but they're not as cool as they should have been. This is another one that I think is just bad potential, much like the kangaroos and dogs, who all of these, it's just kind of a similar theme. The ones that have a lot of potential and don't live up to it end up being C tiers, in my opinion. So we'll keep him in there and keep it simple. We'll go through some of them. Angus, decent name. He's wearing a shirt, which basically makes it look like he's charbroiling himself. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be ironic or not, but it kind of is. And then, okay, so Chuck, okay. Coach looks like a child predator. This looks like the guy who's the coach of the middle school team and hits on all the girls. Not my favorite villager. Oxford, he's a well-done, cranky villager, in my opinion, but he's just not great. Rodeo, lazy. The design is also lazy. That's fitting. Stu, lazy. Same thing. Like, I like the colors. I just don't love the way it all came together. T-Bone, creative name. I like his shirt, but that's about all I like about him. Vic's okay, actually. I don't hate Vic. Vic's kind of cool. But yeah, overall, bulls are a solid C tier. High potential, low execution. Next, let's do cats. Cats are an S tier. We're going to say low S tier. I don't like them as much as the wolves. I don't like them as much as the octopi, which I have decided, even if it isn't correct, that's how I'm pluralizing octopus. I think that is right, but I don't know, dude. Anyway, cats. Let's go over cats. You got the corona, Brob. You're deleterious. Deleterious. I think you should learn how to spell before we start having this conversation. Personally, Anka is a really good design. Like, I don't know, if you think this belongs in B tier, I respectfully disagree with you. What makes a neighbor S tier? Yeah, I mean, it's all subjective. I'm telling people they're wrong, but I'm just messing around. Some people like some stuff more than others. It's just totally preferential. But villagers, basically, they have the way they look, and then they have personality types, and their personality affects the things they'll say to you, the way they act, the types of items that they'll give you, etc. So it kind of just comes down to what you like. But again, like, this is a theme. They went for something out of the ordinary, and it worked. It's a, like, Egyptian pharaoh type theme, very well executed. I love this villager. Bob, everyone loves Bob. I don't love Bob as much as everyone else. But I love Bob. He's a great cat. He's pretty straightforward. Felicity's pretty good, not fantastic. Feline, however, is fantastic. Again, just kind of like that derpy, wide-eyed look. That grows on me more every time I see it for some reason. So, big fan. I like him a lot. Kabuki, another great design. This is basically Lytton before Lytton existed. And I believe he is in New Horizons. So, great cat, great design. Cat is okay. Cat is just a really cool, like, chill. Again, the sisterly personality type is really nice. Canberra on my island has it. And that's made Canberra grow on me. I don't really like Canberra. She looks horrific. She's tough to look at. But she's really nice, and therefore I like her. Kid Cat, fantastic. One of the best jock characters in the game, I think, personally. Great character. Fits the theme. Great jock. I like it. Kiki, cute villager. Again, Argyle sweaters are just my thing. You always get bonus points with Argyle on, so fan of that. Kitty, kind of basic, but cute. Lolly, same thing. Pretty basic, but cute. There's just so many, you know, like, it's easier to rate the ones with a lot of different options more highly because they're always going to have some hits. Mary's cute. Mitzi is really cool, I think. I like him as well. Mo is a fantastic character. Just like huge eyes, buck teeth. Like, I don't know. I love the like derpy looking villagers, and I feel like Cat has quite a few of those. Olivia is a great one as well. Olivia's got that very sassy, very snooty personality look, and she is snooty, so it works. Pierre's okay. Pierre's overrated. Punchy's great, but the new one that's brand new to New Horizons, Raymond, look at him. He's got the different colored eyes. He's the ultimate smug bro neighbor. If you found this guy and talked to him and got his like smug personality to come across, and you didn't take him on your island, I would have a tough time being your friend, I think. No, I'm just kidding. But Raymond is a great villager, and I don't know. I really like them. Stinky's on my island. He was one of my original characters. Him and Canberra were the first two in my New Horizons village. So Stinky's a jock. He's great. He gave me the recipe for a barbell, and I now have a gym room specifically themed for him. Tabby, again, this one's a little bit less cool, but eclectic. They went for a theme, and it's an ambitious character. Tangy, fantastic. Like, look at this, dude. I don't know. They're great. Cats are great. I can't go against cats. I can't give them anything other than S tier. I would say, like, they're, again, below wolves and octopus. They're potentially a high A. They're either high A or low S. We're going to keep them in S tier, though. So we have 3 of each currently, and we'll see how it goes moving forward. Next up, we'll go cows. Cows, much like bulls, just don't do it for me. Are you guys cool with putting cows in C tier? I feel like C tier is very appropriate for cows. They're like right here with bulls. They're probably D tier, but they're like low C, high D. We'll put hamsters D tier, dude. I'm not a fan, and we'll keep the cows at low C tier. That seems appropriate. That seems fair, because I like them more than hamsters, but I don't know if I hate them enough to put them in D tier. Again, just there's no really standout characters. The model's kind of big and clunky and ugly, and like, I don't know what anyone was thinking when they designed this, but if you chose to invite this thing to your island, I would like to see what your island looks like, because yikes. There's actually not that many. Like, there's significantly more bulls, it seems like, than there were actual cows. So they're kind of rare-ish, but they're just like, they're like a poor man's rhino to me, because they look kind of similar to rhinos, but they're just not as cool, and they don't have any standout designs. Like, Patty's okay, Norma's okay, but there's really no good cows, in my opinion at least. So we're gonna keep them as low C tier. I'm pretty happy with putting them there. Just sent you a tweet of Kyle when I walked into his house just now. Hold on, let's look at this real quick, just to forever confirm that Kyle's the greatest. Did you tag me in it? Because I do not have a tweet from you. Oh, there we go. There it is. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Wolves are great. Wolves are fantastic. He's there. He's playing the freaking electric guitar. Big fan of Kyle. All right, what's next? Of what's left, throw out the one you'd like for me to review next. I'm going to go through Penguin. This is probably going to be a controversial choice. I'm putting penguins in high A, right behind deer. Penguins are high A. They're just because of Sprinkle, dude. I would not have put penguins in high A. They would have been low A, high B. But Sprinkle saves the penguins, in my opinion. Sprinkle is fantastic, dude. They're just a really cute model. Like, when you see, sometimes your villagers just play by running around and like airplaning around the village. And penguins just forever look cute when they do stuff. Like fishing, they're just so like pudgy and adorable, really. Very classic, regal looking character here. Aurora is like something you would think of when you think of the Animal Crossing villager. Boomer, fantastic. Great name, great design. I don't know. He's a bomber pilot. How do you not love Boomer, dude? Like, Cube is on Marianne's island, so every time I go visit her island, I get to hang out with Cube. Cube's lazy. He just lays under trees and drinks soda and like eats shit. Like, he's great. He's a really cute, great villager. Flo's all right. Flo's a little overrated in my opinion. Everyone says she's so adorable. I don't really love her, but it's okay. Frigga, however you say that. Kind of basic, not my favorite villager, but, you know, she's there. She's all right. Gwen is good. Gwen should definitely be sisterly, not snooty, in my humble opinion. But still, cool villager. Hopper is a fantastic, cranky villager. If you look at this man, he just emanates, like, damn kids and their loud music. Like, he's a great, cranky villager. He looks cool. I'd probably give him a different shirt, personally, but I'm okay with it. Igly's a jock. Igly definitely shouldn't be a jock, but he's kind of ugly. I'm not a big fan. Puck, though, is great. Puck's a great villager. Rold is a great villager. Again, just a very classic-looking Animal Crossing villager. He doesn't fit as a jock. He should be like a normal personality type, I think. Sprinkle's the best, dude. Sprinkle is one of my top 5 favorite villagers in the game. She's got a really cool color palette. She's peppy, and she thinks she's a pop star. So when I first talked to her, she's like, I love meeting new people. That means new fans. And I was like, hold on, bitch. I'm the influencer in this relationship. Take a step back. But then she kept talking, and she grew on me. And I love Sprinkle. She's an S-tier villager for sure. Tex, fantastic smug villager as well. Wouldn't end up on my island because I'm probably going to only have one penguin, and Sprinkle is the one. But Tex is a top-tier smug villager as well, and Wade is pretty cool also. Just a very cool kind of like gradient-themed color scheme. I like Wade. I like penguins. I'm putting them in the high A tier, if for no other reason than Sprinkle. Do ducks or hippos? Okay, we can do hippos next. Hippos I'm going to put in B tier. I am going to put them... I'm going to put hippos like right next to rhinos. Do I like them more than rhinos? Do I like them less than rhinos? Let's look at them. They're very similar, and I feel like they belong right next to one another. Though I do like a few, like Spike is a great rhino, and as I said, I have an affinity towards Hornsby because of his Argyle sweater. Let's look at some of the hippos before we decide to put them ahead of or behind. But yeah, Bertha, great name for a hippo. Kind of basic design. Don't love it, don't hate it. Biff, very, very, very good villager. Should definitely be cranky. Should not be a jock. But good villager, good design, well done. Snooty, I like how Biddy got the, this is Biddy, she got the snooty type, and it works. She's a very sassy looking villager, and I like it. Bubbles is okay. Again, kind of basic, kind of boring, but he's peppy, he's all right. Clara's all right, not great. Harry is a good villager. Harry is, I think he's the cranky type. In this picture, he looks happy, but he definitely kind of fits the cranky theme. I like his, I guess you would call it a beard. I'm not really sure. Hippo, just a fantastic name. Really like the name. Don't really love the color. Again, kind of like a puke green, stomach acid looking. Not a big fan, but, you know, great name. Rocco, solid. Rollo, solid. Just really no memorable ones, right? Like I can immediately pick out, I like Spike, I like Hornsby. I wouldn't immediately pick out any of the hippos. So I'm going to put them below, rhinos, but they're definitely a B tier. And I like the way our list is shaping up so far. Ducks are easily S tier because of ketchup. You think? I don't know. Let's do duck next. I'll put duck in A tier. I'll put them like low A tier though. I don't have them above deer or penguins. I don't have them probably above ostriches either. I think ducks are a solid, like, they're like a fringe A to B. They're like right there with squirrels. Like I kind of want to move squirrels up to A, but I kind of want to move ducks down to B. I don't know. They're like right in between. But let's look through some of the ducks. I will agree. Bill's a good one. Bill shouldn't be a jock. Bill should be normal, but he's a very classic looking Animal Crossing character. Dina, not my favorite. I almost said Darwin. Darwin, great character. Very nerdy looking. He's got the lazy personality type. I like him. I like Drake. I don't love Drake, but I like Drake. Again, a lot of these are just like kind of average. But Freckles, fantastic. His eyes are way too far apart, and his freckles are in the shape of an M on his on where his nose should be if he didn't have a beak. So yeah, Freckles, fantastic character. Fruity, another fantastic character. Shame they didn't make it into New Horizons, but I love Fruity. Gloria's all right. Gloria's a little too extra for me, personally. She did get the snooty type, so she's got that sassy vibe going on. Not the biggest fan. She's a little too extra, but she's all right. Joey's all right. Joey's a bro. Joey's lazy. He just chills. He's not a very memorable character. Not someone I would invite to my island, but I wouldn't hate it if he ended up there. He's wearing a diaper. I don't really know what that's about, but Maybe he just games a lot and doesn't want to leave. Ketchup, fantastic. It's a tomato. If you don't love ketchup, I don't love you. It's that simple. Great character. Great design, great theme. I like it. Not a big fan. Not a big fan. Molly's good. Everyone loves Molly. I like Molly. I don't love Molly, but good design. Very quintessential Animal Crossing looking villager. Pate's cool. Again, just not super memorable. Pom Pom is cute just by virtue of looking like the lady from Insidious, the like ghost lady with the super wide eyes. Quilson, great name. Kind of derpy. Like, I love Quilson. I don't love the green, not my favorite color, but he's a cool villager. Scoot's very popular. I don't love Scoot, but I'll live with it. I understand why he's as popular as he is. And then finally we got Weber. Again, not super memorable. I don't know. I like them. I kind of want to move them. I'm going to switch them with squirrels, I think. I'm going to put squirrels at low A, and I'm going to put ducks at high B. I think that's a bit more of a fair way to distribute them, personally. Actually, now that I'm looking at my own list, I'm really happy with it. I wasn't sure if I was going to totally regret or think my list was terrible when I was done with it, but I really do think that these are, like, appropriately rated. And so far, I'm good with where we're at. But what do you guys want to see next? We are going to go into Elephant next. But after we do Elephant, feel free. Let me know what you'd like to see me review next and put on the list next. Okay, so elephants. Where the heck do we put elephants? Let's put them in... Okay, there's a few things with elephants, right? The one that looks like a teacup is adorable. They're kind of like anteaters where, like, their nose moves when they talk, which is adorable, and I like it. But they're, again, are just kind of a lot of forgettable elephant types. We'll put them at the bottom of B tier for now. I might move them down to C tier after we look at them, but we're going to look through the elephants, and we're going to see how we feel about them. Axel, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, he's not bad, right? But he's just kind of forgettable. You wouldn't think of him as like, wow, that's one of my favorite villagers in the game. Big Top, they gave him kind of like that hero vibe, but again, like the squirrel one just does it much better. Chai, this is a cool villager. I'm not in the New Horizons game, so unfortunate, but Chai is cool. Sid, he's all right. He's actually probably one of the better elephants, I would say. He's got a unique color combination. I love the red and black with the purple highlights. He's got a little green on his nails too, but yeah, I mean, again, just not super memorable. Dizzy is a very basic and classic looking character, but just nothing special really. Ellie's good. Ellie's cute. We'll say Ellie's an above average villager. So is Eloise, but again, just like nothing really stand out. Like, it's a potential tier. They could have made elephants so cool, but there's only really one or two. Like Margie, I would say, is one of the few that I really like. I like Margie. Good theme, well executed, good design. Her face looks like a teapot. Opal's okay. Ugly puke green. So many villagers got the puke green treatment. It's like shiny Pokemon all over again. Paolo actually showed up last night on my Tarantula Island. The first time I ever found a Tarantula Island in New Horizons, Paolo was just chilling there unafraid in the middle of the island. But he's pretty ugly. He's not a great villager, but I did like seeing him there. And Tia is the one I was talking about. Tia's a teacup. If I found her, I would invite her. She would be an instant invite onto my island. Everyone else, kind of meh. And Tucker's good. I probably wouldn't invite Tucker to my island, but he's the only one with tusks, so that's a big up for Tucker. I feel like elephants definitely could have been cooler, but I'm happy to put them low B tier. I'm okay with keeping them there for now. All right, next up, let us go to, let's see what chat said. Bear, koala. Okay, so if we do bear, we have to do cub right after. Let's do koala first. Let's look at koalas. Okay, so Canberra is a koala, right? She's terrifying to look at, but her personality's grown on me. I don't really know much about the other koalas, so I think I'm going to have to put these in B right now just because I have very little experience with the koalas, and I'll kind of replace them after we look through them and see what we think. It's tough because, again, this is my first Animal Crossing game, and having never seen most of these villagers before, I don't really know much about them. But, okay, so Alice is all right. Nothing super memorable. Kind of a cool looking villager. They're all, though, like, the koala's faces just are very off-putting to me. Like, why is her nose so big? I don't know. It's just kind of weird. Look at, like, tell me Canberra doesn't look like a serial killer. She's terrifying to look at. Like, she's very nice. But she, like, the things on her cheeks and her angry but still smiling, very devious looking face. She's just a terrifying villager to look at. I don't know. Eugene's cool. Eugene's a great smug character. Again, he's exactly what you would think of if you thought, like, smug villager. He's the Fonz, basically. He's a great villager. I still probably wouldn't invite him to my island, but he's a great villager. He's a good example of what a smug villager should look like. Gonzo, good koala. Is he cranky? Yeah, he's a great villager. This absolutely should be a cranky villager. Okay, they're growing on me a bit. Once we got past the first two, I actually kind of like him. Huggy is peppy, is all right. Lemon, Melba, it's supposed to be like Melbourne. I don't know, but great name, not great. Ozzy, another one. Great name, not a great design. They're just kind of forgettable, man. Like, they all just look like koalas. With the exception of Gonzo being the perfect cranky koala and Eugene, they all just kind of look like koalas. Although, Yuka's not bad. Sydney, another one named off of Australia. We got Ozzy, we got Melba, and Sydney, which are all presumably based on Australian. Yuka's cool. Yuka's a cool color combo. I like the light and dark blue contrast with the white ears and the white face. But doesn't look like Snooty. That looks like it should be like a more, like, less sassy, more like friendly, like sisterly maybe would be a good one for her or him. I don't even know. I'm not assuming genders. It's 2020. But yeah, I'm okay with actually keeping koalas in B tier. There's a few really good ones. There's some not so fantastic ones. I definitely put them ahead of hippos and elephants. I'll put them right in there with rhinos and frogs. They're kind of like, they're just meh. They're like right in the middle, which is why they're right in the middle of the list. Okay, so next up we've got bear and cub. Cubs are basically young bears, and bears are the big full-grown boys. So we'll do cubs first, and I'm going to put cubs in C tier, I think. This might be a bit controversial because cubs tend to have very cute character designs, but I've looked at almost all of them, and I just don't think they're that great. I'm not a big fan of the cubs. So I'd probably put them ahead of dogs and kangaroos, probably put them behind pigs and eagles. I'm okay with cubs being right in the C tier. We'll look through them and kind of reevaluate, but yeah, Isle, he's all right. Barreled is a great name for a cub. Okay, Barreled's a good villager. I'm gonna just put that out there. I like Barreled. He's a great villager. He's lazy, which I feel like is kind of fitting. I like Barreled. Blue Bear's peppy, kind of basic, kind of forgettable. Sherry, same thing. Like, she looks like she's about to ask for the manager. She should be Snooty. She's peppy. She should be Snooty. She looks like she could be called Karen for sure. Chester's all right. Kind of terrifying, but in a cute-ish way. Judy is, Judy's like, okay, this is a really good villager. I won't lie. I love the color combination here. The like pastel blend almost, where her fur is like, we don't know what color because it's all the colors. Really cool villager. If they're in New Horizons, I would probably invite. What's the personality type? Snooty? Yeah, okay, I would invite Judy to my island. I definitely like Judy. June's all right. June's probably overrated. A lot of people talk about how cool June is. Not a massive fan, but I'm not hating on it. Cody is a jock. Doesn't look like a jock. Kind of basic, kind of forgettable. They're just like, they're all right. They're not great. They're all right. Marty's all right. Murphy's cranky. He's ugly. He's not great. Olive's, like, again, it's all right. There's really not many good ones. Everyone loves Stitches. I think Stitches is ugly. People really love this. I mean, I get it. It's a cool theme, and it's very understandable for a teddy bear looking cub. Just not. They could have used better colors, and I don't know. I just don't love Stitches. He's a very popular villager. He's not my favorite, but I will say I love Judy, and I love Barreled. Outside of that, the cubs are all pretty forgettable, and I'm okay with them going C tier, mid C tier. Let's do bear as well. It says Judy is in New Horizons. All right, so if we find Judy tonight, again, right after this, we're going to pick out some of our favorite villagers from S and A tier and maybe a few standouts like Judy from the lower tiers. And I'm just going to island hop all night on mystery islands. And if we find any of our favorite villagers, we're going to invite them and try to get them on our island. But since we just did Cub, let's do Bear. I'm going to put bears right with cubs, actually. I kind of rate them the same. The bears have a few that are like pandas, I think. So they're not all just like your standard like brown bear looking villagers, but let's just look at them. I'll redetermine once we look at them all, but we'll go through the bears. Beardo, great sideburns. Okay, actually I like him. I was about to say great sideburns, but not much else. He's growing on me the more I look at him. So far I like him. Charlize is like, again, it's just that green. I don't like this green color, man. So many of the villagers got this ugly green color, and I just don't like them. Chow, not fantastic, but our first panda. Kurt, decent. Is he a jock? He's cranky, actually. That doesn't really seem to fit. Well, actually, I guess. I don't know. He's got a Band-Aid on his head. He's probably angry because he got lobotomized or something. Who knows? Dozer, lazy. Good name, fitting personality type, but just not great design-wise. Grizzly, kind of ugly. Again, that green, brown, gold, whatever this color is supposed to be. It's dark green. It's like, it's just ugly. That's what it is. That's what that color is called. It's called ugly. Klaus is good. Klaus looks like he belongs in like a Greek circle. He's a very cool theme, but I don't know. I feel like smug doesn't really do him justice. He almost looks like he should either be cranky or possibly even jock, just because he looks like he could be thrown in at any time to like a gladiator arena. Megan, no thanks. Nate, he's got a unibrow that looks like it's going to help him fly. Not a fan. Yeah, like they're not great. Paula, Pinky, I don't know. These are not doing it for me. I'm happy with keeping them below cubs. Right in the middle of C tier. There's a lot of B and a lot of C tier villagers. But that's how it's meant to be. I think S and D are probably going to be the most rare. And yeah, so next up we've got rabbits. My favorite villager, I don't know. I really would have to go through all these lists and I would change my mind probably every time I looked at it. Of the ones that are on my island currently, it's definitely Sprinkle, the penguin. She is adorable, and she is the favorite of the ones that I have. But it's tough. It's tough to gauge because there's so many, and there's just like different kind of nuanced things that I really like and dislike about certain ones. I have Tutu. She's great. She does yoga in the plaza and sings with other villagers. Okay, that gives a few bonus points specifically to Tutu. I got Megan. She's ugly, but she has the best lines. Yeah, like, okay, so the personality matters a lot too, because like, it's just more, and certain character models are just more fitting with certain personality types, right? Like cranky squirrels. It just, I don't know. Those are great in my opinion. The character model just matches well. All right, next up, let's do lion. I'm putting lion high D tier. I don't think this will be controversial because I like to think most people agree, but much like the bears and kangaroos and bulls, lion has such tremendous potential. You think about a lion character and you think it's going to be one of the most ferocious, badass looking characters in the game. They're just pretty disappointing. And there are really no good ones, and there are some horrifyingly bad ones. So I'm going to put lions in high D, like above everything else in the D tier. But there's just very few, if any, redeeming lions, and you're about to see. Like Aziz, Bud, he's a jock. He's just ugly, dude. Like, if this guy was telling me about how many bicep curls he did, I'd be like, yeah, okay, whatever, go home. I want to hear from, like, a cool jock character, you know? I don't want to hear from Bud. Elvis, again, like, Elvis showed up to one of my mystery islands last night, and he was, like, trying to figure out where he was and how he got there. He just doesn't, like, it's such a cool idea, and it just doesn't execute the way that it should. Leopold is a pretty cool lion. I would say above average. But when this is what your above average looks like, it's a tough life, man. It's not great. Look at Lionel. You probably wish that you weren't looking at Lionel, which is how that's what I'm saying. Like, he's just not good, man. Mott, like, I don't know. They could have done so much more. And then, like, Rory is probably the best, in my opinion, of all the lions. They're just so bad. It could have been so great, and it ended up being so bad that lions end up... Although I hate to do it because I love lions. They're just high D tier characters at best. They're just not great. All right, next up we'll do horses. This is another one that I know almost nothing about. I'm not sure if I'm just sleeping on horses or if there's not many of them, but I know nothing about horses. So I'm going to tentatively throw them right in the middle in B tier. And we're going to look through them and kind of decide on the fly how we feel about horses. Annalise, I don't love it. I don't hate it. Not really that memorable. No real discernible theme going on. Just a pretty basic horse with pink hair. She's got the snooty type. I feel like she looks more sisterly, but again, without actually seeing them in game, it's tough to say. Buck. Think about all the cool jock characters that we've seen. Even like Stinky, who was one of our defaulters on our island. I don't love Stinky, but he's just a better jock than this guy. I don't know. The horses, now that I'm looking at them, they're not great. Cleo, cool name. Clyde, another cool name. Just the ugly yellow, man. Just ugly villager. Colton's cool. Colton looks like he's a part of like the exclusive club. What's his personality type? Smug. Like, compared to so many of the other smug villagers, though, I don't know, not a fan. Ed, Elmer, Ipona. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that. Philly. Yeah, they're pretty bad, dude. Horses are not great. There's a unicorn. That's not terrible. Julian the unicorn. Peaches. Renee is not terrible. It's a creative name. Decent design. What's her personality type? Yeah, sisterly kind of fits for her. I feel like... I don't know. Roscoe's cool. Roscoe doesn't really look cranky in this picture, but I could definitely see how cranky would be a fitting theme for Roscoe. He's not bad. Savannah. It's kind of cool. Zebra tiger. Or not tiger. Zebra in the savannah. It's a cool name. It's a fitting theme. I like it. Victoria. Ooh, I like Winnie. Winnie's a good one. I'm gonna drop these from B to C. Not great. Not memorable. Where in C tier do we throw these? I mean, they're not bad, right? There's a few bad dog and kangaroo designs. They're average. They're average C tier, which is below average, but they're average for their tier, let's say. All right, next up, we've got rabbits. What do you guys think of rabbits? I'm going to probably put rabbits in the low B tier. But again, I don't know much about rabbits, so we're going to look at them first. I have one rabbit on my island. He showed up in my campsite. I really did not want to invite him to my island, but the game leaves you no choice. I had to invite O'Hare to my island. Just didn't love him. So let's go through and look at them all. Bonbon, Peppy. She's no Sprinkle. Anytime I see the Peppy personality type, I'm like, well, if it's not sprinkled, it doesn't win. It's not a win. Bunny, same thing. Cute. Definitely a cute villager. She's no Sprinkle. Carmen is Peppy too. Carmen looks like... Who does this look like? I'm imagining some TV show character that this reminds me heavily of. I think it's the eyes, but I can't tell. Still, shouldn't be Peppy. Not great. Chrissy, is every rabbit Peppy? Is that the theme here? Chrissy's kind of cute. I'm not mad at Chrissy, but she's no Sprinkle. Claude. Oh, Coco. Okay, Coco is the one I was talking about before when I said they had those like vacant eyes. Coco would be an instant invite. Coco's normal personality type, which I normally would say is instantly a no-go. I do not like the normal personality type. But Coco would get an instant invite to my island. Claude's okay. Cole's okay. Doc's kind of cool. Doc's the ultimate nerd. Dottie, kind of basic. Francine's got the same model as Chrissy. She's just blue instead of pink. Gaston. He's a perfect cranky villager. This is definitely like a very good and well done, well-themed cranky villager. Genji's cool. I can't hate on Genji, really. That's a pretty cool villager, too. Hopkins kind of cute. They're growing on me. The more we scroll down the list, the more rabbits are growing on me, to be honest. O'Hare, here's the one I got. It's like the worst of all the rabbits on this list. Of course, he was the one that showed up in my tent. But still not terrible, right? Like, I like his hat. He's not a terrible visitor. He's just not great. Ruby is albino. That's kind of cool. Snake is a freaking ninja. That's amazing. That's another really good villager. Tiffany's okay. Toby's not great. So what do we think of rabbits? We're going to keep them in B tier. I don't think they're up there with the squirrel, ostrich, penguin, deer tier. But we're going to move them up. They're definitely not at the bottom of this tier. I'd probably put them ahead of frogs. Behind goats, gorillas, and ducks. They're a solid B, in my opinion. There's a dope rabbit that's missing. That's a New Horizon. Do you know the name of it? Mira? Look it up real quick. Animal Crossing Mira. Here's Mira. Yeah, this wasn't on the list, was it? I'm sure, like, it's the fandom wiki, so there's always going to be a little bit of missing information. Especially, did this appear for the first time in... Oh, no. From New Leaf. So she was in previous games. She's there. Oh, am I blind then? Is she there? Yeah, she is here. I'm blind. Turns out she's on the list. Yeah, I just skipped over it. My bad. But she's a good villager. She's not fantastic. All right, tigers, birds, and monkeys. Which one do you guys want to see next? Let's go monkey. This monkey looks cute. I'm going to be honest, though. I thought it was just gorillas. I didn't realize that there were monkeys in the game. Like the non-gorilla type monkeys. We'll put them in B tier, as we always do, with the ones we know nothing about. And we'll kind of evaluate as we go. Okay, I like these. This gives me a Diddy Kong vibe. Champ is a jock. That makes sense. I like him. Deli. Dude, that's adorable. I love this color combo, actually. This, like, beige... and like dark light contrast. I really like that color combo. He's a cool villager. He's lazy. I don't know if he would get an invite to my island. I don't think he's in my top 10, but definitely a cool villager. Elise, snooty, ugly as heck. Mole. Not a big fan of Elise. Flip, not a great jock. Monty is cranky. He's a cool villager. He's okay. All monkeys are non-gorillas. Yeah, my whole thing was I just didn't realize that there was a separate species for monkey. I thought gorilla was like the only type in the game. Nana, not great. Shari's good. Shari, I'm not sure you pronounce that. Pretty cute. It almost looks like a lemur, really. Simon, not great. Tammy, there's really not many, are there? There's not many villagers. Let's see, there's special characters. Porter. He's not great either, but... Yeah, I'm not mad at these. I'd have a hard time putting these in A tier. I think we're gonna keep these in B tier too. They're like mid B tier, I think. We'll put them in the mix with the rhinos. They're right between rhino and koala. They're all about the same. They're okay. They're like not great. There's no super great ones. Like Spike is better than any of the monkeys, so they're below rhinos. All right, all we've got left is bird and tiger. And admittedly, I don't really know much about either. So let's just pick bird first. We'll put bird here, and we'll go through and we'll look at them. Ace, cool villager. Nothing spectacular. Admiral's a great cranky villager. I love the theme. I love the name. I love the personality type. It's a good synergy. He's a good villager. I like him. Anchovy's another great villager. He's lazy, which, you know, without knowing much about them, it's hard to say whether or not that's fitting, but I like Anchovy. Flash is good. Jacob's good. Jacques. Dude, all right. I like the birds. Jay is a jock. He's kind of a very classic looking Animal Crossing character. Jitters, Joe, Lucha. It's supposed to be like a luchador mask. I get it. Decent theme. Medley. Midge. Dude, Midge is a great name as well. Peck. Ooh, dude, I like these. Piper's a good villager. Robin. They're all good. None of them are really great, and none of them are bad. Sparrow's great, too. Sparrow. Not sure you're supposed to Sparrow, we're going to say. Twiggy. Twerp. What do you guys think? Is this good enough to bump them into A tier? Probably not. Admiral's great. Outside of Admiral, there's really none that I would consider A tier. Some great names, some bad execution. Peck's okay. Just doesn't look like a jock. We're gonna keep him in B tier. We'll put him towards the top end of B tier, right there. I'm okay with that. Ducks, gorillas, and goats stay above them, but they're not bad. And last but not least, we have tigers. So let's go ahead and look at the tigers. I'm going to tentatively put them in A tier because our B tier is full, though it'll just make another row if we need it. We'll look at tigers and we'll see how they stack up against the rest of the crew. Bangle, great name, great theme, solid villager. This is a good start. It's boding well for the tigers. Bianca, kind of basic, but again, I love the markings, dude. The markings on the tail and the legs. Claudia, not great, not terrible. Leonardo, he's an okay jock. I'm not mad at that. Definitely not my favorite jock, but he's okay. Rolf is a fantastic cranky character. I would take him on my island, I think. If I saw him and he looked like this and acted cranky, I would probably invite him. Not many, huh? There really aren't that many tigers. But overall, I think I like tigers a lot more than the others that I didn't know much about. They're all above average, and I would say like Rolf and Bangle are top tier. We're going to put them A tier. I'm actually okay with tigers staying A tier, and I'm okay with them being at the end of A tier. So this is our Animal Crossing tier list. Our only 3 S tiers are wolves, octopi, and cats. We've got deer, penguin, alligator, ostrich, squirrel, and tiger in A tier. Duck, gorilla, goat, bird, rabbit, frog, rhino, monkey, koala, hippo, and elephant in B tier. Eagle, which probably realistically belongs in B tier, but we're putting it in C tier just because everyone throws them in S tier and says they're great, and they're just not great. They're super overrated, so I bumped them from B tier down to C. But eagles are above all the rest of the C tiers, which are pigs, cubs, bears, horses, dogs, kangaroos, bulls, and cows. Most of the C tier ended up being the ones that have tremendous potential and just didn't follow through. Like horses could have been really cool, dogs should have been really cool, kangaroos could have and should have been really cool. There's a lot of options that had a lot of potential and didn't really follow through. And then in D tier, we've got lion, hamster, sheep, chicken, anteater, and the worst of all, mice. They are terrible, and if you like them, I don't like you. That's going to do it for our tier list. So I think we're going to probably pick out a few of our favorites from each and then start island hopping in game and trying to get some of these on our island. But that's probably where I'll cut it off for the YouTube video because I don't want to include too much. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Yeah, let me know what you thought. Create your own tier list and post it in the comments. And hopefully you don't hate me too much for my opinions. But that is my Animal Crossing species tier list. We will save and download it and share it with the world on Twitter.